Hello, my name is Michael Martin, and I am continuing a series of YouTube videos on research used in my journal article on employee retention, which you can find on my channel. I am seeking to help business owners and executives understand the research behind employee retention, leadership, and organizational strategy. In this video, the title is "Breaking the Mold: Why Traditional Accounting Firms Struggle to Retain Gen X and Gen Y." Today, I want to discuss an important research study. The article examines a critical issue in professional services: why talented accountants leave traditional firms, and what leaders can actually do about it. If you are a managing partner, CFO, controller, HR leader, or doctoral student studying employee retention, this research offers a structured lens into generational expectations and organizational misalignment. Let's break it down at a high level. Traditional public accounting firms often operate under what researchers call the professional partnership model, sometimes referred to as the P2 archetype. This model includes long hours, up or out promotion tournaments, deferred compensation structures, revenue generation pressure, informational power hierarchies, sometimes described as grinders, minders, and finders. Historically, this structure worked, but the research suggests that it may now be structurally misaligned with generational workforce expectations, and that misalignment drives turnover. In terms of research questions, this study asks two primary questions. First, how do Generation X and Generation Y accountants' expectations align or fail to align with traditional accounting firm practices? Second, how should these firms adapt their retention strategies to better meet those expectations? This is not theoretical speculation. The researchers conducted a qualitative action research case study inside a mid-sized, long-established accounting firm. They interviewed 36 high-potential Gen X and Gen Y employees. They held structured workshops. They analyzed recurring themes, and what they found is highly instructive. So what do both generations want? Let's begin with common ground. Both Gen X and Gen Y participants expressed three major shared expectations. First, better leadership behavior. They want balanced workloads, consistency across teams, respect and appreciation, clear and constructive feedback. Second, clear communication. Specifically, clear role expectations, transparent career progression, stronger top-down communication. Third, real career development, not symbolic training, but meaningful exposure to mentorship and skill expansion. In other words, both generations want clarity, fairness, development, and respect. This is not radical, but the firm's structure often failed to consistently deliver it. Where the generations diverge. Now, here is where nuance becomes important. The researchers categorized turnover drivers, into two buckets: driving them away, internal frustrations, and attracting them elsewhere, or external opportunities. For Generation Y, the dominant themes were unpredictable workload demands, inconsistent time expectations, competitive compensation elsewhere. Gen Y professionals were particularly sensitive to work-life volatility and market-paid comparisons. For Gen X, the concerns were different. They focused more on procedural fairness, compensation equity, transparency, and succession planning. In short, Gen Y asked, "Why is my time so unstable, and why is pay not competitive?" Gen X asked, "Why does the advancement system feel opaque and unfair?" Both are forms of psychological contract breach, but the triggers differ. Here is the deeper diagnosis. The study links these tensions directly back to the professional partnership structure itself. For example, the grinder minder finder hierarchy creates workload asymmetry. Deferred compensation models may frustrate younger professionals who value immediate market alignment. Upper out promotion systems create opacity and anxiety around long term security. Autonomy assumptions can mask a lack of structured communication. In other words, the very structure that built traditional accounting success may now be producing structural expectation gaps. This is not a personality problem, it is a design problem. Here's the change framework. One of the most useful contributions of the study is a four-stage change model. The framework categorizes firm evolution along two dimensions: degree of change, incremental versus transformational, and degree of generational alignment, generic solutions versus cohort specific strategies. The four stages are labeled the noble, improving the status quo for everyone; the notable, improving the status quo with generational tailoring; the inspired, breaking tradition for shared expectations; and the inspirational, breaking tradition while tailoring solutions to different generational needs. The implication is powerful. Retention improvement requires more than surface level engagement initiatives. It may require structural redesign. What are the executive implications? So, what should leaders take away? First, if compensation is meaningfully below market, no amount of culture talk will offset it. Second, if workload volatility is unmanaged, burnout becomes predictable. Third, if advancement systems lack transparency, trust erodes. Fourth, if mentorship and skill development are symbolic rather than substantive, high performers will exit. The study suggests that accounting firms must decide: will we adjust around the margins or will we rethink the model? Because retention is not simply about perks, it is about alignment between organizational design and workforce expectations. From an independent scholar perspective, this article reinforces psychological contract theory. When expectations and reality diverge, turnover increases. From a leadership perspective, it challenges the assumption that generational dissatisfaction is entitlement. Instead, it may reflect rational responses to structural inconsistency. From a strategic standpoint, firms that modernize thoughtfully may gain competitive advantage in talent acquisition and retention. In closing, if you are studying employee retention, leading a professional services firm, or building a high-performance accounting team, this research provides a valuable roadmap. Retention is not merely a human resources initiative, it is an organizational architecture issue. And architecture can be redesigned. If you found this analysis helpful, consider subscribing for more doctoral level discussions on employee retention, organizational strategy, and leadership research. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next discussion. Also, below in the description, I will share a reference to the journal article discussed. Thank you.